Court Reporter with Stovall and Associates.
Hello and welcome back to Court Reporter. I'm here with Sharon Wehrly, running for Nye County Sheriff. You're talking about some of the different organizations, the volunteers, Reserve, Sheriff's Auxiliary. You were telling us about this retired police officers. Can you tell me about that? I've never heard of that one.
It's a retired police officers organization. It's called the Volunteer Homeland Reserve Unit. And we have a group of people here that live in Nye County that belong to that. And it's approved through the Department of Emergency Management, the state of Nevada. And so there's no reason that we shouldn't be using them.
Right, so it's here in Pahrump, but right now they're not currently...
Well, actually, there are people that live all over the county.
All over the county. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember, this is Nye County.
This is Nye County.
Yes, this is not Sheriff of Pahrump, it's Sheriff of Nye County.
No, this is Sheriff of Nye County.
And the Nye County, I was talking to a different gentleman I was interviewing for Sheriff, and I was amazed. I didn't realize Nye County went up quite as far as it does. Yes. You guys got a big territory.
And you know, Northern Nye County started a search and rescue team. Oh golly, it had to be in the 60s, probably late 60s. We didn't start ours down here until 1975, and that was under Jay Howard.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, one thing before we get into your background, and I wanted to touch base with, I've heard a lot of scuttlebutt out there, a lot of people upset, and I don't know the whole story, and maybe you can fill me in a little bit if you know, but about deputies or dispatchers and stuff being laid off into smaller areas like Amargosa and Beatty. Have you heard anything about that?
I know that the dispatch centers have been shut down.
They have been?
Yes. They're not totally shut down. They have dispatch capabilities, I believe, during work hours on days. Oh. But afternoons and evening shifts are gone. Oh. And I think they did the same thing with Tonopah. That they have someone there during the day, but they don't have anybody in the evening. Everything is dispatched from Pahrump.
And do you know if that was due to budget cuts?
That's totally due to budget cuts.
It is. And I've heard a lot about it. We'll promise we'll get to your background here in a second, but we've heard a lot about that the budget has been overspent. Any ideas on how to keep that budget a little more realistic?
Well, first of all, you need to learn to live within your budget. And that's something the Sheriff's Office hasn't been doing for the last, 4 or 5 years.
Right.
They haven't lived within their budget at all. And now, finally, it's coming to the head where the county can't pick up the extra dollars that the Sheriff's Office seems to require to run. That's totally over their budget. So now the county is going to have to figure out what they're going to cut so that they can keep the services going for the entire county, not just for the Sheriff's Office.
Well, I'd like to see, I was born and raised out there in Amargosa Valley, and coming from such a small town, I know those jobs are scarce. So it's a real shame to see those guys lose their jobs.
Yeah. So. Well, the thing is, we still have to have coverage out there. We still have to have dispatch.
Right.
And it's really difficult for a dispatcher in Pahrump who really doesn't know Amargosa, or they don't know Round Mountain, or they don't know Gabbs, to send somebody out on a call.
You know, I never thought about that, but that is so true.
And it's the same thing with dispatching the ambulance service. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't know where to send them. The people are in dire need of medical attention or rescue, and they don't know where to send them.
Oh, that is scary, because, I know out there in Amargosa, there's definitely a lot of, 2/4 block past Paul's house on the right, because it's so rural.
Past the big rock.
Exactly. So, I imagine that's going to be very difficult and very stressful for a Pahrump dispatcher that's doing a 911 call and trying to dispatch either Sheriff's Department, Fire Department, or ambulance services.
Absolutely. And it's very, very difficult and very stressful on the people who want to respond to those calls, and they're not getting the information that they need to do that.
Wow. Well, hopefully we can get that fixed. But let's talk about Sharon's background a little bit. What is your background? What sets you apart from these other 9 candidates? And why should people be voting for you?
Well, let's answer the why people should be voting for me first, and then we'll do the rest of it.
Sounds good. I love it.
I've lived in Nye County for 50 years. I've I've been dedicated to Nye County for 50 years. I helped start an ambulance service. I helped start a search and rescue team. I've been involved in community events and activities my whole life. When I first came to Nye County, I was involved in Beatty Borough days. And then we moved down here, and I became involved in Harvest Festival. And building the park, and planting trees, and helping refurbish, well, first build and then refurbish the arena, and on and on and on and on. So I really feel that it takes someone who loves the county,
Yes.
to police the county well.
I think that was very well said.
I want to be able to provide the services not only to the people, but to the deputies. They have to have resources, and they have to have a feeling of appreciation, and I think I can give that to them.
Wonderful. Well, believe it or not, we are actually almost out of time here. Early voting has started already, correct?
Correct.
So get out there, vote, and from my understanding, the top 2 candidates move on. Is that?
That's right.
That is correct.
Can I tell you a little bit
Absolutely.
about my background real quick? I have a corporate, emergency management, emergency response, hazardous material operations, emergency medical, radiological control, physical and technical security, evidence and classified document management. I've done personnel management. And I have experience in all of those areas and certifications in most of them.
Wow. Well, to me, it sounds like you're more than qualified, and I believe you'll probably be one of the top candidates. So we might just see you back here in a few weeks as the top 2.
I hope so.
So thank you so much for being on the show, and hopefully we'll see you back here in a very short time.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next week here on Court Reporter with Stovall and Associates.
Court Reporter with Stovall and Associates.